Okay, so here's a follow-up. All right, now this is the one I made before, and the same. I drew on this side, and here is the sticker side, right? So I made a bunch more, as you can see, a bunch of these, right? And they work pretty well. The thing is, a few of them, like early on, they were experiments essentially. And like this one, I consider this one a failure. Yes, on the surface of it, it looks right, but and it does mate up fairly well. That doesn't look too bad, right? But it's got a severe curve, and that's due to using the glue on cardboard, regular cardboard, because don't forget we have the surface that the sticker was adhered to, which really doesn't, hardly anything can stick to it. But the other side is just paper. So that gets glued to cardboard. And then the cardboard, of course, has the sticker on it right here. And what you've got, and you end up with something that's two-sided, right? But they're essentially the same thing, right? This one, this surface, as it turns out, it's not very good for dry erase, but it's excellent for wet erase. All right, so that's great. It's a wet erase um, battle plate here. But this one can do it too, right? So why do you need a second one? As I say, you can say, well, you're in the forest, or you're in a cave or something like this, and now you're in the palace. Isn't that nice? Yeah, you could do that, or you could just tell your players that that's where you are and let them imagine it, right? So, all right, that's what we've got. That's what we've got. But these two were the originals. Now, put those aside for the moment and take a look at this one. This one is also adhered to cardboard. Now this is the wet erase side, we'll call it, and this is a blank side. Why is it a blank side? Well, it's a blank side because I ruined one while I was trying to work with it, and I had to throw it out. I ruined a sticker, right? But I didn't ruin the surface that it was adhered to, and I cut all of that out. And I attached it to a couple of pieces of corrugated, right? If you look closely, will that focus? I don't think so. All right. Well, you believe me, it's corrugated cardboard. But this thing is strong. This is good, and it's raised up a little bit. I like it, right? It looks a little rough because it's hand drawn, right, from the other side. But it's good. It is blank on this side, and I'll get to that in a sec. All right. But it's pretty good. It's really solid, and it's really, it's not bad at all. Not bad at all. All right, so what did we end up with? Well, here's the one that I used on the cutting mat, right? They sell these cutting mats at Dollar Tree that for $1.25, they're no longer $1 at Dollar Tree. For $1.25, you get two of these thin cutting mats. Right now, I would not cut any vegetables, any meat, anything on these things. They're so thin. You can cut them with scissors very easily. I would not trust them for that purpose. But for this one, it's marvelous. The sticker goes on. You cut around the outside. I used a hobby knife to get all this. Very simple, actually. It takes a little time, but it's not hard. Is it perfect? No, it's not perfect. You can see the cuts aren't perfect, but it works. It's good enough. More than good enough, right? But it is blank on this side. Okay, blank. But we've got so many more. Now these they sell these placemats. I couldn't find. I went back. I went back and I got more of this stuff before they sold out, because this stuff comes in lots usually, right? And when they're out, a lot of times they're out, and it may be a while before they get them in again, or they may never get them in again. So I grabbed these while I saw them, and I went back and got more while they were still there. But they were out of the cutting mats. What they did have were placemats, which are actually thinner and easier. All right? Easier to cut through. Even easier than the very easy cutting board, right? These things work really, really well. They come together really, really well. Okay? So let's see. How much do I have? I got this and this and more than I have space for. More than I have space for. Okay? So this I have all these. Right? All total, these adventure tiles, plates, whatever you want to call them, these things probably cost me about $10 total. All right? And I've got a lot of them here. These are wet erase and dry erase. They come together just fine. You can make this as big as you want. I mean, you can spend as much as you want, but for me, this is more than enough. And I think they're a good way to go, right? Now, these are all these are fine. I'm on carpet right now, but if you were on like a tabletop, this might be slidey. How do you get around that? Well, very easily. Painter's tape is your friend. You just flip it over, put a piece of painter's tape right in the middle, roll it up, right, with the sticky side out, flip it over, that thing's not going to move, right? And that's not a big deal, right? It's not a big deal. So for a small amount of money, you have every surface you want, provided you work with hexes, right? I didn't see an equivalent that might be for squares, right? People often use them as like, each square is 10 foot or something like this. Well, I use these, again, it's for science fiction. I use these as 1 meter square generally. If it's going to be a combat or a situation, something like that, 1 meter square. And I think they work really, really well. They were easy to do. I set out today and sat down and I cut a bunch of them, right? Don't mind this. We have cats, so there's hair everywhere. We have a good situation with these, I think. I have a lot of size here. I can draw on them, as you saw before. So to me, the next step would be actually seeing them in action. And I think the next video is going to be doing a scenario using these tiles specifically in the game. And you'll get to see them in action. So anyway, that's it for now.